What's up everybody, 40 the Broadway Saiyan here, and welcome back again to my YouTube channel, this time with a video on Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia. We're going to be continuing the Art of series. This time it's going to be the Art of Noctis. So Noctis is going to be getting a rework, as well as his Crystal Passive 90 Awakening, and he's also going to be getting his Burst Plus weapon. We're going to pretty much summarize what he's going to get, and then afterwards show you guys some gameplay, which will help you decide if you're going to be investing in this character or not. Again, reminder, I don't go over the nitty-gritty stuff anymore, such as percentages. You could find great resources for that stuff, such as Dissidia Compendium, Tonberry Troop, Dissidia DB. All of those links will be down below in the video description, as well as the pinned comments. If you are looking for content creators that do cover those things, I recommend Josepher, Simply Lost 30, and Black Nero. The links to their channels will be down below, so be sure to check out their content and show them some love. But without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about the Art of Noctis. So Noctis is getting a rework. First of all, his Skill 1 and Skill 2 both get reworked. Skill 1 is going to be getting more brave attacks, and it's also going to be dealing more splash damage. However, it is still stuck at 1 HP dump, unfortunately, but you are using that to set up the launch when you're using especially when you're using the plus variant, because with the plus variant and having his debuff active, he is going to be doing that follow-up attack, which is pretty cool. And then his Skill 2 is going to be his highest damaging skill outside of his EX, so it's going to be dealing 3 HP dumps now, dealing more damage. And then remember, if it's the plus variant and his debuff is active, he is going to be dealing that follow-up attack. Now his stackable buff, which is his Armiger buff, which goes up to 5 stacks from C passive level 85, it is going to be adding more HP damage as the stacks goes up. So every time the stack goes up, Noctis is going to be getting pretty much increased HP damage. So that's going to be the rework for that particular buff. And then his C65 is going to be getting an additional usage. And what's cool about the C65 now is that he also gets added Stolen Max Brave Overflow. He gets an added attack up, and he also gets more Brave damage cap up. So that's going to be your go-to, especially like if you want to set up the plus versions of his skills right away, because they start off at their base, and then you know how it works. You use the base, it changes to the plus, and then it goes back to the base. But you could just press C65, which we're going to do right now. We're going to get the benefits from it, and we're going to change them to their plus variant. So that's pretty cool that he gets that as well. And then afterwards, his LD, it does not get a rework, but the LD boards itself, what it's going to be doing is for the buff that he gives to himself, he's going to be getting attack up, he's going to be getting brave damage up, HP damage up, stolen max brave overflow up, and then afterwards, after he deals an HP attack, he is going to be brave refunding himself, which is really nice because this allows him to be very self-sufficient as a utility damage dealer. So you don't have to worry about this guy doing an HP dump and then he's stuck at 0 brave. He's going to be recovering some of that brave, and not to mention the buff itself that he gives from his LD. It's also going to be giving him a brave regen and all that good stuff. So very, very self-sufficient unit. So the way that I like to set up this unit before we talk about the Burst Plus is I actually like to go into the LD first, so then that way we get Armiger up to 5 stacks, and we also get his self buff from his LD. So now we have that brave refund, and we got the regen up, which is nice. So then he's self-sufficient. As you can see right there, we recovered some brave. And now we're going to go ahead and talk about his Burst Plus. But before I actually do that, just in case, I'm going to go ahead and use the Cypher Call to get this punching bag Divine Ramu out of the way so we don't get interrupted with this demonstration. Here we go. Awesome. So we're going to go ahead and talk about his burst finisher at fully greened burst weapon. So his burst effect now is going to be extended by 1 more turn. So now we get to benefit from his follow-up from his burst for 6 turns. And then it also does give the party a little bit more oomph. So they're going to be getting more brave damage up and also more brave damage cap up. Because before, all we really got from it was the follow-up, which was nice because especially with turn-hogging DPS who could really abuse that, and Noctis pretty much just sits there and does the follow-up attack, and then a turn-hogging DPS such as Terra could take advantage of that. But now, besides that, we're actually going to be getting more benefits from it, which is that party brave damage up and also party brave damage cap up. So we're going to go ahead and go into it from here. All right. Awesome. There we go. So now, as you can see, it's at 6 turns now. Alright, and then actually going into the burst phase, usually what I like to do is I want to make sure that I have the plus versions of his skill 1 and skill 2 active, and then what I try to do is have his EX active, because what that does is after you use the EX, you get free skill uses of both skill 1 and skill 2. So I usually want to have the free skill uses active, and I also want to make sure that they're at their plus variants before actually going into the burst phase. So what I'm going to go ahead and do here, just for the purposes of the video, I know that I have the LD buff up, which has the whole turn manipulation. I'm just going to burn through his LD just for now, so you guys get to see visually what I'm talking about, because I want to get into that EX right away. And there we go, we got the follow-up from the burst. Alright, EX is up, perfect. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and go into his EX. So his EX has 4 HP dumps now, so it's the hardest, it's his hardest hitting skill out, you know, not counting his skill 2. Here we go. Alright, and then as you can see right here, we have free skill uses, and we could just go right into the burst. So that's how I like to use Noctis. I'm not the greatest Noctis player by far. I do think he's a very complex character, but for those of you that are more familiar or like to use him more often, I'm pretty sure you could come up with a better way of using him. But generally for me, that's how I like to use him. And then when you're in the burst phase, like assuming you have a full party comp, I like to go skill 1. So you can take advantage of launches. And then afterwards, I like to go right into his EX again. Here we go. So go right into the EX, and then I would skill 1 again, because we're going to get another free skill usage. It's the base version of skill 1, but then at least we get to set up another plus version of that. So here we go. There we go. And then afterwards, we go right into this again. Again, this is assuming you have a full party comp, not running Noctis solo, so that you could take advantage of launches during his burst phase, assuming that you're actually going to be going into his full burst phase. Okay? And then I go right into his skill 2. Then I end off with his LD before going right into the burst finisher again. And then here we go, the burst finisher. That's pretty much Noctis, guys. So like I said, some things to think about is, remember, he's a range damage dealer with turn manipulation and efficiency. He has fairly good damage output with those follow-ups, especially when you have the BT effect up. He's that great unit pick for no-turn boss fights, since he has that turn manipulation buff that he gives from his LD, and he also keeps your turn count low. So if you like those low turn count runs, then this is probably a unit you're going to want to invest in. In my opinion, he has one of the most mechanically powerful buffs to the party coming from that LD. That 2-turn manipulation and not adding to the turn count, that's really powerful. And like I said, no-turn boss runs are definitely a very popular strategy in this game. Turn-hogging DPS, like I mentioned earlier, could abuse the BT effect follow-up. So imagine if you have like Terra, for example, or even Vayne constantly taking turns, or even imagine using him in having the burst effect up and then using like Machina's burst phase, right? And then just going ham with Machina's really powerful HP command, and then having Noctis just constantly coming in doing the follow-up attack. So you could really rack up the damage. He is a very self-sufficient character, but I would definitely run him alongside units that could still amp up his HP damage. I recommend that because he does have a little bit fewer HP dumps when you're comparing him to other damage dealers out there. For example, his skill 2 only has 3 HP dumps, and then his EX has 4. Now, that's not counting the follow-ups, obviously, but if you're able to amp up his HP damage with modifiers, more modifiers and things like that, it could definitely help this character out. But all in all, Great character. He was a really popular unit when he first came out, and then he got his first upgrades and was still really popular, and now he's coming back, with a very strong force. And if you like using characters that can turn manipulate and make sure to keep your turn count low, all while dealing good damage on their own and being self-sufficient, this unit might be for you. But this is going to go ahead and conclude my video for the Art of Noctis. Hopefully it helps you guys out when he gets these upgrades in Global Opera Omnia. This is 40 the Broadway Saiyan, signing out. Mahal, everyone.